Check out the brand new Plague Marines.
Spiky bits.
What's up, hobby maniacs? Rob Baer with you again today with our fair and honest review of the new Plague Marines. These are the multi-part kit, 7 models to a box from Games Workshop. Now, I know what you're thinking. I can't remember a time where there wasn't Plague Marines or Death Guard releases coming out. And yes, it's been a long and winding road, but you gotta admit, the models are pretty dope. They've been some of the most dynamic and most detailed, in my opinion, models that we've seen from Games Workshop in a very long time. Now, this box here is a $50 box set for 7 miniatures. Now, you got to think about comparing that with the 7 or the 3 models from the Plague Brethren limited edition or exclusive box set that Games Workshop put out for $30 US, bringing the grand total of 10 Plague Marines to $80 US, whereas, you know, stuff like the Intercessor squads that came out were $60 for 10 US all day. And then, of course, I think the half boxes were $35. Now, I'm not sure we'll see a half box, and maybe that's why they came out with the Plague Brethren as a separate release for $30, where this was $50. I don't know. I'm not a mathologist. I don't know how money works. I can only tell you what I observe from Games Workshop and let you vote with your very own hobby dollars. Now, overall, this kit here, like I said, 7-man squad of multi-part Plague Marines. If you want the full 10-man of new unique models, well, you do have to pick up the Plague Brethren box, which will get you up to the full 10. But there's always the easy to build models that came in the Dark Imperium and the No Fear box. So I feel like most people might pick up a box of these. This is just my own personal opinion, of course, and then splash them in with the easy to build stuff that a lot of us already have or can easily trade for and call it a day. Now, there is a bunch of cool bits in here. You've got 8 bolt guns, 4 plague knives, 3 of the axes, the blight launcher, of course. They're all about their blight launcher, their plague spewer. Great plague cleaver. We saw this guy at Adepticon last year. Actually, most of these guys were featured in the video at Adepticon last year. The plague spewer, of course, that has an accompanying backpack model or bits. 2 weapon options for the champion, plague sword and power fist. A ton of Baer heads. I think there's like 16 or 17 of them, 2 specific arms, so you can hold blight grenades and things. And I think one is actually pulling the pin. So really lots of really neat stuff in here. Don't get me wrong. If you want your guys to look different, this is probably the box set for you. Now, overall, they don't do anything different than any other Plague Marine out there. Of course, they come with this handy dandy quick reference guide, which I feel like is going to come in handy on the tabletop. Said handy a lot of times. Ain't nothing wrong with that. They're all on 32 mil bases. Nothing we don't know already. So 3 sprues right there. Remember, the Primaris sprues were 4 sprues for $60. So I almost think, I don't have the Plague Brethren box, but I almost feel like the Plague Brethren box will be a separate sprue as well. And they're probably just like self-contained, maybe. I'm not exactly sure because I haven't seen it. Maybe it's something I will order and review as well here in the near future. Okay, so first up, you're gonna see this is 2 different ways you can make your Plague Marines. And of course, they show you there once you assemble the basic body structure and the back, you're good to go right there. And then you can kind of choose your weapons out from there depending on what you want to do. If you want to go with bolters on Plague Marine number 2, or you want to go with close combat weapons, either or you can do right there. And conventionally, they're going to be very similar to what we've seen in the past, except for some of them, their legs are part of the torso, some of them are not, and then you just put the leg on the front plate. You're gonna have a separate backpack, sometimes some icons, sometimes some other stuff up top. Choice of heads, like I said, there's 16 different heads in here, and then you're gonna have weapon arms that you can kind of choose from to put different things on depending on what you want to do. And then there's the bolt gun right there. And then it just kind of goes through, wash, rinse, and repeat. But there is a lot more options because this is the multi-part style kit. So you're going to have options for bolters, option for close combat weapons, options for, you know, the blight launcher and things. Capes and different things are also going to be able to be put on separately. Choice of shoulder pads, you know, a lot of different cool stuff there. Of course, it does come with some special weapons too. The Plague Belcher, plasma guns, and melta guns as well. I personally like that Great Cleaver. I think that's pretty sweet. So it just kind of depends on, you know, kind of what direction you want to go with what guy. But it seems like for the most part, they are kind of specific to a certain body style. But you could, you know, put them on either or, just depending on what you were trying to do. I personally like this body style right here. So I think one of these squads will probably make it into my army, fortunately or unfortunately, I guess, depending on how you look at it. Plague Marines themselves, I mean, there's no sense really getting into it. These guys are great shock troopers of the Death Guard army itself. Great troop choice. You can take them in blocks of 10, blocks of 20, pretty much whatever you want to, you know, field them in number-wise. You can pretty much do starting with 5, and then you can go, you know, up and above from there, all the way up to 20. You know, you can do different things like there's stratagems to let everybody throw a grenade. There's characters that allow you to have higher strength, higher damage grenades, like we're going to see in the other video here. The Biologist Putrefier is going to allow you to do cool stuff like that. At least I think it's the Biologist Putrefier. I might be misspeaking right there, but I'm pretty sure that's the guy that does it with his grenade rack ability. So you might want to take a couple of those in your army so they don't get sniped out. But for the most part, characters are hard to deal with there. So we're not going to really get into the rules themselves. There is a separate Icon of Despair model released this week too. That's going to allow you to confer units that are within 6 inches. Must subtract 1 of their leadership characteristic. Not exactly the most amazing thing in the world. However, you know, if you just want to have a dude with a banner in your army, there's no reason not to field it, I feel like, right there. So lots and lots of cool stuff. Let's take a look at the models themselves. So here's the first Sprue. And we saw, you know, with a lot of these releases, like I said in the intro, there is some of the coolest, most forward-thinking designs, detail work that we've seen in everything from character models to the larger models like Mortarion, down to the Terminator size models, and now we're really starting to see what Games Workshop can do with the rank and file troops. I don't really count the easy to build ones because they're a completely different animal. It's like comparing apples to oranges, and I don't feel like that's a fair shake. So let's take a closer look at these and see exactly what Games Workshop can do. And immediately I'm seeing tons of ridiculous detail, a lot of it on par and very similar design elements to what we saw with the Dark Vengeance starter back in 2013, I believe it was. Some very similar elements to the Death Shroud themselves, but I mean, you can see there's teeth on bolters, there's teeth on Palderons or Vambraces, I guess, on the wrist here. You've got pitting and boils and half freaking mouths and things and bells and fly wings on torsos. All sorts of riveting and pitting and poxing. Looking over here, lots of design work on the shoulder pads, even little teeny maggots right there. I mean, this is some seriously cool stuff right here. Some cool design work. Here's the set of hands pulling the pin on the Blight Grenade, the half shoulder pad that goes into the crazy bone horn things. You got some capes that you can throw on a la carte, some crotch plating. Take a look at the specific plague knife with some tubing. The heads themselves expertly crafted right there. Look at the respirator. Then you've got crazy horn, crazy poxes, all sorts of ridiculous things here. Looks like you could switch out some hands if you want to true grit it. I'm not sure. I guess that could go to that bolter right there. You could cut off the end, like in the old days we used to have to cut out the bolter stock. And it looks like it actually has a... Is that melted? I feel like that might be a misfill on the mold right there. But it's definitely got a strap, a support strap. And the backpack appears to be 2 different pieces, which is really interesting. We haven't seen something like that before. So this backpack is 2 standalone. Huh. Okay. So then a top goes on it. Oh, that. Okay. So that wasn't a cock kind of piece, or for the front of the torso. That goes right there, like a cod piece. Huh. All right. Very cool. That sprue is good to go. Wow, look at that. That great cleaver is sweet, and of course it's got an extra tentacle helping to hold it up right there. More and more design elements really shining through. There's a spewer that's going to go back to the backpack, extra legs and such like we saw. One of the axes on the front we're looking at. There's the spewer backpack, so all that's going to lock together. And crazy little spiky bits and things on the lower greave. Look at all the skulls on that shoulder pad. I mean, the teeth, the detail, the teeth have detail in and of themselves. The teeth are sculpted good, but even the teeth's detail. And then you've got little chain bayonets actually on for the end of the bolters. I don't know what this thing goes to. Maybe that's the Plague Reaper thingy-mabobber that it like locks in, or maybe it's underslung. Oh yeah, it looks like it's underslung right there. So that's pretty cool. I didn't think about that till just now. I haven't seen a visual of it. Oh yeah, there it is. It is underslung. Okay, that makes more sense. Very neat stuff there. Pitting, scoring, fly, symbology, or symbols on everything. Fly motifs everywhere, which we come to expect. But I mean, it's just, oh, look at this crazy face right here. Wow, that is sick. Like literally. That kind of stuff is really, really neat. I love seeing design elements like that. And the last, but certainly not least, sprue right here. You can definitely see a lot of detail work in the torsos, standalone capes, plague knives. I mean, they're just really bringing it home here at this point. Here's the heft for the flail, the plague flails, which looks to be two parts. It looks to have some crazy eviscerated or decapitated head on it. There's our special weapon plasma gun, crazy drum-fed bolter. I mean, it's just a ridiculous amount of detail here. Even on the backpack, there's a ridiculous amount of detail. Yep, there's a crazy shrunken or blight-filled head right there. Blighty pox-filled head. Very interesting stuff. I love these. Are highly detailed, and I feel like a lot of folks are going to be getting that. It almost makes me wonder what the Plague Brethren box looks like, the limited edition one right there. I might have to order one of those and do an unboxing as well of that, because we did the limited edition Codex. That was a pretty good one. So we'll do something like that as well. So that is it for what might be the last plastic box set of this wave. We still haven't seen one kit. Not exactly sure when it will be coming, but I don't know. Maybe there is more to come from the Death Guard, but maybe not in October, unfortunately. So I guess we'll see what is next, besides the next video that will contain the characters that we're about to show you. So that's it for this one. Please subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on our videos. And head on over to thelongwar.net. We've got a fantastic battle report of Mortarion in his Death Guard, taking on the forces of the Imperium. Seems to be a fan favorite. It's got a ton of views already. Lots of cool stuff to see on that one. That's all part of the Long War. You can get exclusive content, early access videos, and more by heading on over to thelongwar.net and becoming a veteran of the Long War today.